everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and this is a speed through version of what we did today on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel live show. That's every Thursday at 8:30 unless one of us is traveling or something. So last week on the show, and there's a speed through that I'll put in the iCard right now. We worked with air dry clay, and I used two different types. I used Makin's clay and I used paper clay. I've been using paper clay for years. Makin's clay was new to me. So the first thing that I was talking about was the differences between how the clay dried. Some of this was in molds and some of it was on a piece, sculpted directly on the piece. And I used the paper clay for that. And then the Makin's clay I used in the different molds. And the Makin's clay is a lot more flexible. It's not brittle and it has a much finer, more porcelain-like finish. The paper clay is a little rougher because it has paper fiber in it. Also, you can sand the paper clay if you have a few little bad edges or something. And with the Makin's clay, you can actually trim it. It's a little bit flexible and you can trim it with scissors if you have some that went outside the mold and it's over your image. So they were different and they both had their positives and their negatives. So in the morning before the show, about an hour and a half before the show started, I sculpted a bird onto my piece, which was not on the previous one, so it wasn't dry. And I experimented by drying it with my heat tool, and I was able to get it dry enough on the outside of the clay that I could go ahead and complete, painting and everything. And then that inside part of the clay is going to take some time to dry, but I don't care. I wanted to go ahead and work. So I've never tried drying the clay before with heat, but I bet you could even put it in, a warm oven and dry it quicker than just leaving it out. Obviously, all I did before was just to leave it out, and it's been sitting out all week until the show. So I went ahead and glued on a lot of leaves that I had molded onto my project, and then I started with colorization, and I'm using some Marabu art sprays, which are a mixed media product. They're an acrylic spray, and I use 3 different colors of blue, and I'm using my spray box, which is a cardboard box that I've cut down on one side and lined with some freezer paper, which has a lot of wax on it, and so I can wipe out, if I get too much glunk in there, I can wipe it out. So this really helps me protect my surface. So I did the spraying, and then I went ahead and dried this with a heat tool, and then I realized that because of the directionality of the spray, I had a bunch of white left on the tops. So I had to put it back in the box and then turn it around and spray it from the other direction, because this piece is very dimensional. It had that original layer of tag board type stuff that was glued onto the wood board, 6x6 wood board, because I had planned on using it for a different project. And then I sculpted the leaves over, the vines over the top of that. Then I sculpted the bird, and then I glued on the leaves. So it really has several layers of dimensionality. So once my blue art spray was dry, I did some dry brushing over the top with white gesso, and that really brings out all the little details that I put in as I was sculpting, and also the detailing on the mold. All these leaves are, a lot of them are from different molds, and they have different types of detailing. There's even one that has some swirls on it, and you couldn't see that when everything was blue, but when you you do the dry brushing over the top, it starts to hit the high points of everything and turns them white, and then it looks a lot more dimensional. I actually was saying on the show that when it was just all white after I had put a coat of gesso over it, after I glued everything on, then I put a white coat of gesso. I don't know if I mentioned that. It looked, I thought, like a fresco piece, like you might see in an old, building where they would do it with plaster. Like if you just left it white like that, that's what it looked like. It's kind of cool, but I wanted to colorize it, obviously, because I'm a color person. So then for my next layer, I got out some India inks. These are made by Dr. P.H. Martin's, and India ink is water soluble, and you can really do some watery effects with it, but it also dries permanent when it's dry. So I thought it would be a good thing to use on the project. I wanted some translucency, where you can blend the water and make it a little bit translucent so that some of the blue still showed through. But also wanted to change the color of some of the bits. So I used two different colors of green on the leaves, a lighter green and then a darker green in the center of the leaves. And then now I'm painting the brown. And then to highlight the texture, I'm dry brushing with a color called Ancient, which is from the Dina Wakley acrylics. And it's not gold and it's not copper, but it's somewhere in between. It's like a bronze. Really cool color. Really in love with it right now. So I was using a regular brush, but then I remembered these stencil brushes, which are actually makeup brushes that I got out for stenciling. I bought them on Amazon. And they're inexpensive and great for stenciling, and I thought they would be great for dry brushing too, and I was right. They worked really, really well for the dry brushing. So I was doing a little bit of gold over the top of the bronze, over the top of the brown, dry brushing. Then I got out some Pebeo iridescent, I think this is green yellow, DYNA iridescent. I'll link all the products I use in the description box below, like I always do, in case you need to find something over there on Amazon. So I'm dry brushing the leaves with that. Then I polled the audience and said, what color would you guys think I should do the bird? And they said purple and pink. So I'm using some purples and some pinks, a little bit of blending in of some white gesso to lighten it up a little bit, and then some dry brushing with iridescent silver over the top to highlight my little birdie on the branch. And then of course I put some orange on his beak and his little feet with the orange color of the India ink. And then I'm pretty much done with that project. So this was a lot of fun. This is very dimensional. I think that using air dry clay is 100% awesome in mixed media, and I think everyone should try it. You can just go to your local craft store if you don't want to order online and pick up some different types of air dry clay for pretty inexpensive and give it a try with your mixed media. Maybe some molds or some sculpting is in your future, and I hope that you do it, and I hope that you post your projects on social media so that I can see them, because I would like to see what everyone does after they have watched these videos. So be sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment or question below. Share this if you know someone who would really like a piece that's almost like a fresco. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.